22nd and 22nd, 21st and 22nd, that is Friday and Saturday were 2 holidays because of the festivals, Habbas. And 19th also I took holiday due to my ill health. Okay, let's leave it. So 18th we had a class on Vedanta Sara. Now today is the Sugama. Okay, so therefore we continue Sugama. In Sugama the point was, Purvapakshi was asking, we are just concluding the Purvapakshi and just to begin the Siddhanta. Purvapakshi was summarizing the entire argument of Purvapakshi, that Adhyasa is not possible. Because Adhyasa means a misunderstanding, a misconception, is possible between only between the thing which is Purovasthita, what is present consciousness. Okay, what is present consciousness alone can be Purovasthita, what is right in front of you, what is present consciousness. Present means presented as a kriya, not the noun. Okay, what is presented, what appears. Okay, what is presented, what is Purovasthita, what is presented to consciousness alone can be mistaken. The consciousness itself being an illuminator, not available for any conception, any thought. What cannot be, in short, what cannot be an object of any thought, either sense perception or mental perception. Perception means mental conception. If a thing can neither be perceived nor can be conceived, it can't be thought of in any manner because it's not available. What is not available for perception and also conception cannot be mistaken. To mistake means wrong understanding and right understanding. Where right understanding is possible, there alone wrong understanding. There means the same level we are talking. It should be available for both right understanding, wrong understanding, but some kind of understanding it should be available. Okay, whether in order to understand rightly or wrongly, it should be available to that understanding. Okay, what is not available to that understanding, whether right understanding or wrong understanding, what is not available to that understanding can neither be misunderstood nor can be rightly understood. Both. Purvapakshi is only objecting the wrong understanding, but we can add to that, neither it can be wrongly understood nor you can rightly understand, because to understand it should be available for knowledge, available for consciousness. So Atma, you are telling it is singularly ekantena avishayah. You say Atma is singularly, where is that? Yushmat pratyaya apeta. You are telling it is not available for perception as you, as a second. As a perception as a second person. It's not available as you. And also you say that it is a subject, not an object. Subject means it is the one who knows, not the one that's available for knowing. Okay, it is the one that knows and not the one that is available for knowing. Avishaya, you call it a non-object, you call it a subject, and also you call it as not available as an object, as a you. Therefore, how can that be mistaken? Okay, and now from this, his conclusion we discussed elaborately in 1 or 2 classes. Therefore, his conclusion is Atma and Anatma are clearly understandable, distinguishably understandable. You can distinguish Atma is Atma, Anatma is Anatma. One thing cannot cross its border and then look like the other. One thing cannot cross its border and look like the other, because there is no overlapping area of consciousness and non-consciousness. Consciousness, Atma, subject and object. Subject, object. There is no overlapping area between subject and object. Adhyasa means a kind of overlapping. Atma, Anatma getting overlapped. Atma, Anatma are totally contrasting. What are totally opposite to each other cannot come near, cannot be overlapped, cannot get overlapped. Atmanatmanau pratyak paratvena vishaya vishay. This last paragraph we were discussing, so I just repeated 2 or 3 sentences. So Atmanatmanau pratyak paratvena vishaya vishayitvena. So one is pratyak, inner, another is outer. One is subject, another is object. One is Vishaya Vishayi, Pratyak Parak. See, he says, Pratyak Parak, inner and outer. Vishaya Vishayi, Atyanta Viruddha Swabhavatvat, Suviviktav. They can be very clearly distinguished. Clearly distinguished means without mixing or overlapping. What he means to say is, without mixing or overlapping. They can be clearly distinguished. Therefore, Bhavatopi Sammatam, this you also accept. Purapakshi is telling. You Vedantin, you Siddhanti also accept it. Therefore, my conclusion is, after presenting my case, Purapakshi shows his conclusion, Atayevatu Paraspara Adhyasa Anarhau. They cannot be mistaken. One thing for other is impossible. Therefore, okay. Not only I am rejecting your Adhyasa, Purapakshi is continuing. Not only I am rejecting your Adhyasa proposition, means I have a doubt about it. It looks impossible. But one more thing I add on my side. So the thing which you say that Ahamidam Mamedam, I am so and so, this is mine. Ahamidam means you have an identity about yourself. I am so and so. You have a consciousness. Consciousness means you have a thought about yourself. You have a notion about yourself. Every person has a notion about ourselves. Every person has a notion about himself, or let us say. That is grammatically wrong. Every person has a notion about himself. So I have a notion about myself. The notion is, first notion is I am. That is the basic notion, common notion. See, in the notion there are 2 aspects. I am is a common. I. An additional notion is so and so. That so and so may differ from person to person. I am such and such a person. I am like this. I am like this. Whatever the additional quality you add may change from person to person. But one thing, a common notion of all, a very general notion, I, the subject I. And he says, this aham notion, we accept it. It is there in everybody. We accept it. Because it is there in everybody's experience. Who can deny it? But this aham pratyaya, aham mama vyavahara is not due to adhyasa, is my argument. The I am, there is thing, and this is mine. I am and mine. I am this and something is mine. This is mine. These 2 experiences that we have, they are not simple notions, they are our nature, Purapakshi says. Therefore, tatacha yadadau pratignatam aswabhihi samsara anarthasya nadhyasikatvam. Therefore, this samsara, see 2 things are there. If you interpret this way, any school of philosophy where Advaitins or non-Advaitins, the difference comes in the very nature. Samsara everybody accepts. That we have to get rid of samsara, everybody accepts. This is common to all our Indian schools. But where they differ is the very nature of samsara. And how do you get rid of it? 2 things. The very nature of samsara, how do you conceive, how do you interpret? So, Advaitins say the nature of samsara is not really there. It is simply a misunderstanding. Then how do you get rid of? Correct the misunderstanding and you are already free. That means you didn't have a samsara. You only thought wrongly And by the time if you are made to understand that, oh, you don't have the samsara, you are only thinking wrongly that you are a samsari. Oh, instantly you by recognition of it, you come to know that you are already free. You didn't have a samsara. In spite of not having a samsara, you only thought as if you are a samsari. Okay? You thought as if there is a samsara. Since it is only a thought alone, not a reality, the thought is corrected by showing the fact. In the fact, this thought is a wrong thought. That I am a samsari is a wrong thought. Because in your real nature, you are ever free from samsara. This is Advaitins. Other people, non-Advaitins, say there is samsara. Okay. There is samsara. But samsara is not a simple misunderstanding alone. You have a really samsara. You are really undergoing samsara. Samsara is a reality. That I am subject to birth and death is a reality. You are not imagining that you are subject to birth and death. See, they say that you are subject to birth and death is a reality. Therefore, since it is a real experience, since it is a real happening, real occurrence, you have to really stop it. Okay? A real occurrence has to be really stopped. Then what happens? How do you stop? Once you say samsara is a reality, then you have to make a real transformation, real modification and a real change. Now you have to be changed into another status where this Janma Marana doesn't apply to you. Okay. There should be a real change, a real modification, something like a metal, like a gold which becomes too soft. As you touch it, you can press it. I am told you can press it. Anyway, I have not touched and seen the gold. In my childhood, probably I have touched it. I don't remember. So, if you touch it, fold it. I am told with your hand you can bend it. I am told with your bare hand you can bend it. It is so soft. So, since it is really soft, the real softness can be circumvented, can be avoided, can be how to say that. The softness can be removed by mixing up it with certain other metals like copper, which is a harder metal compared to gold, which is a harder metal. I am told they mix it up with copper and such metals. Then what happens? It becomes a gold alloy, Mishra Dhatu. It becomes a gold alloy, Mishra Dhatu. So once it becomes a Mishra Dhatu or gold alloy, it becomes a strong one. You can't bend it with your bare hand. Probably you need a hammer or some such thing. Similarly, if the really samsara is there, you need a real change in it to effect your freedom from samsara. This is the difference between Advaitins and non-Advaitins. Not only this is, one is the samsara is a reality and becoming free from samsara is another reality. So once it is a real transformation, then simple knowing is not enough. Second point is, if it is a real change, if you have to really get rid of the samsara and really become free, then simple jnanam is not enough, because jnanam only illumines a fact. Simply knowing jnanam alone is not enough. You require a change. How do you bring about the change? A kind of a karma. It may be a physical karma, mental karma. Karmas are two. One is at the physical level, sense organ level, that is a material. Another is psychological. A psychological transformation or material transformation. Prakritika. So Prakriti itself has got two levels. See, when we say Prakritika, we mean worldly sense. That is our scientist called physical world alone is Prakriti. Our Indian Shastras say Prakriti not only means the physical world, even the psychological world also is a world. They say psychology is only an individual mind. Okay, this is the difference. They say psychology is only an individual mind. Our Shastras say psychology is not simply individual mind. Psychological level is another world as big as this world. Okay? As big as this world, it is a totally another world. This is where you can see Samashti, Ishvara, Devas, Lokas, Ashtasiddhis and all that is possible. If you accept the mind is only a purely individual, all the occult powers, Upasana, Bhakti, Paraloka, all that cannot be explained. This is where the science is limited. Science says physical world is vast world, but the psychological world is only the mind. Individual mind alone is psychology. An individual mind is psychology. That too, two things they say. Regarding the Sukshma Prapancha, means Sukshma level, Sukshma Prakriti. The Prakriti, which is a Sukshma level, subtle level, we accept as much as the physical world, so big is the psychological world, which includes our minds, all Jiva's minds. Not only it is as big as this physical world, they say it is even bigger than the physical world, more powerful than the physical world. Okay? Not only bigger than the physical world, more powerful than the physical world. Scientists take up only the physical world, and the psychological is only an individual mind alone. Individual mind alone. There is no social mind, there is no cosmic mind. Okay? No social collective consciousness. Consciousness means by mind, I mean. No social consciousness and no cosmic conscious. Cosmic mind also is not there for them. For us, not only the physical world, there is a social mind and a cosmic mind. So it is as big as this world, even they say it is a bigger than this physical world. Second. Third thing is that individual mind is a part of, one side individual's mind is a part of the physical world, I mean connected to the physical world through our body. Individual mind is connected to the physical world through our body, mind and through our body and sense organs, and also it is connected to the cosmic mind also. Okay? Individual mind is how connected? It is a part of a cosmic mind. Why connected? It is a part of a cosmic mind, inseparable part of a cosmic mind. So individual mind is one side connected with the physical world through our body. Through our body means through our anatomy, physiology, nervous system. Okay? Through our anatomy, physiology, through our nervous system, through our this entire system of the body. Its very connection with the body is prana. The connecting, linking is just like two stones are connected by cement. Two bricks. Two bricks are connected by, in between by sand and cement. Okay? I am told, they tell us a cement is a binding material, they call. And the engineers, they call cement is a binding material. So two bricks, in between you put a cement, and the cement becomes too soft, therefore you add little bit sand also. So sand makes it just like alloy, you make it an alloy, so that it gets a grip. Sometimes they use a bare cement also, too soft it becomes. Similarly, the mind and the body connecting link is the prana. Prana is also a part of mind only, Sukshma Sharira. Okay, so prana, mind put together belong to the Sukshma world, and body belongs to the Sthula world. That's why modern science knows only the physical body. Physical body produced from the physical elements, 5 elements, no prana, no mind. And prana mind is a tentative appearance. They say when the combination, this is our Charvakas in Indian philosophy, Charvakas also talk like that. When the body is combined, the elements of the body combined in a particular pattern, as like this body, something like a consciousness is born, something like a shadow. When you put a light and the thing there and a shadow falls, shadow is not an entity, shadow is a mithya. Because you put a light here and put an object here and come and look this side, you find a shadow. Similarly, they say the different chemicals in the body are combined. When the body is refined with refined chemicals, a kind of consciousness like a shadow arises. This is what our Charvakas told. Consciousness is a shadow production from the body, because the tree and the light bring together. You remove the tree or remove the light, and one of them, the shadow goes away. Okay, you remove the tree, you remove the light, shadow goes away. Similarly, scientists, they say when the refined chemicals like in brain and there is a gray matter, white matter and all that, so in your nervous system, then you see a product is born, something like a shadow called consciousness. For them, consciousness means only mind, there is nothing beyond mind. Okay, now the refutation and all that becomes a big topic. It may come sometime later, we'll discuss when it comes. Now we only at the moment this much say, our Shastras say, there is a mind and prana independent of the body. And this mind is not a shadow, is not just an individual alone. It is a cosmic mind. Okay, and the cosmic mind, our mind is only, our means each individual's mind is a part of a cosmic mind. So this individual mind is connected two ways. One is it is connected to the Sthula Prapancha through the body, and also it is a part of a cosmic mind. So we have a Sthula and Sukshma, two Prapanchas, two Prakriti. When we say Prakriti, this is two. Okay. Now he says, Adhyasa, samsara. If samsara is real, you have to modify it. That means just as we can bring about a physical change in the physical world, I mean the stula prakriti, that is a gross prakriti. Just as we can bring about a change in a stula prakriti, we can bring about a change in the sukshma prakriti also. How? Sukshma prakriti, that is our individual mind, they say their moksha. I'm telling in general of all non-Advaitins, in general. So they may have a specific differences. I'm talking in general. So that individual mind gets detached from the physical body. Okay, the individual mind gets detached from the physical body, becomes closer to the cosmic mind. Individual mind becomes closer to the cosmic mind, becomes the part of a cosmic consciousness. Your individual consciousness is already a part of cosmic consciousness, but it gets separated, it gets alienated, as our Hindus are in India. As our Hindus in India are alienated, though born and brought up and live in India, and we think like Europeans, we think like Americans. We feel as if India is far away from us and America and Europe are closer to us. Okay, this is a real Adhyasa. Okay, very good example of Adhyasa. The imposition, the wrong education, wrong culture, wrong imposition, the alienation is Adhyasa. So similarly, they say the mind was connected to the body through prana, of course. The mind was connected to, more it was connected to the body. Means more it was identifying with the body, and less it was identifying, less it was feeling related to the cosmic mind. So to the cosmic mind it was less related. To the physical body, and through the physical body with the physical world, it feels more identified. That is called jivatvam. That is samsara. So, and you do karmas, and one more thing we have, two things are there. One is an identification with the body. Second is karma. Identification, karma. And this identification and karma, in between them there are samskaras. Okay, identification, that is adhyasa with the body, in between samskaras, then the karmas and experiences. Karmas and experiences are produce new samskaras, and the identification remains staunch, or a light identification or a strong identification, depending upon your samskara, karma and experiences. Okay, therefore they say, you by doing some karma, what karmas? Punya karma, positive karma. Negative karma means what? Those negative karmas called papas make you more closer to the body, more strongly identify with the body, through the body, external world. External world, external situations, external experiences, external objects, people, so on, all that we know. I don't have to explain. Now you have to do more, punya means a more positive punya, more a nishkama punya. That's where they say a bhakti or a nishkama sadhana, dhyana, bhakti, all that. What the dhyana bhakti do is, your relationship with the body, your relation with the external world, your dependency on the external world through your identification with the body. Dependency on the external world for your experiences. Okay? Through the identification with the body should be lessened. How do you lessen it? By bringing about an inner transformation in your individual mind. Individual mind has to learn to detach. Therefore, what happens? Your samskara has to change. Your identification has to change. Okay? Your samskara is in your experiences with the external world and relatives and objects and events and all. And your identification with the body has to be changed. So this identification with the body goes away by more and more you feel identified with the cosmic mind, and less with the body, and through the body with the rest of the world. Through the body and the rest of the world, you become more and more detached. Therefore, body identification becomes very thin. Not totally doesn't go away. It becomes relatively very much thin. The samskaras go away. You do more punyas because you are making a real transformation. Because the inner mind has to be really changed. Okay? Inner mind has to be really transformed. Therefore, they say your bhakti, meditation. What is bhakti and meditation? Your individual mind gets connected to the cosmic mind. It feels more and more through your heart. It's sincerely through its love and surrender. Love and surrender is the medium, is a connecting thread. Through that you expand, purify your love, and then more and more you love it and serve it and think of it. Then what happens? Your mind lessened, your attachment with the body and the external world becomes less and less. Mind continuously keeps on getting transformed. Mind is getting transformed. You are getting detached with the body, and through the body with the external world, and you get identified with the cosmic mind. That cosmic mind is Ishvara, Saguna Brahma, Vishnu, Rama, Krishna, Shiva. And that cosmic mind called Ishvara is an independent. He is not totally devoid of the physical world. Physical world is a part of him or dependent upon him. Vishishtadvaitins say is a part of him. Dvaitins say it is separate but dependent. Okay, we are not particular about this thing, whether being a part is dependent on him, or being a part is anyway dependent on him, or being separate is dependent on him. In either way, it is under his control. This much is common. Either way, it is under his control. Whether part of him or separate from him, there also they may argue. We don't go into those details at the moment. We say it's a dependent on him. So the physical entire world, the time and space and the nature's laws, all that is independent of that collective mind called Ishvara. So your individual mind gets detached from the body and the world, and you more and more you get attached, more and more you get attached with a sincere love and surrender and that. So you continuously practice this love and surrender. You build up samskaras. You get detached from the body and get attached to that collective conscious, collective mind called Ishvara. Okay, Saguna Brahma. You may call Vishnu Shiva. They call Vaishnavas mainly Vishnus. Okay, but whatever it is, that collective consciousness, collective mind. So here mind is really undergoing a change. Okay, new samskaras it acquires. That means the constituent parts of the mind gets restructured. It is like bricks, all bricks you dismantle them and restructure them, reformulate into a new structure. Like the small parts combine to become one structure, one big form. You dismantle them, you go to the constituent parts, the smaller parts. The smaller parts are recombined in another pattern, and similarly your relationship with the body and the external world becomes less and less. You get attached to the Ishvara, and then your mind becomes infused with the relationship with Ishvara. You become a part of him. Here they say the really you are attached to the body and the external world, and the really you have to detach it through your karma and upasanas, like punya karma as well as your bhakti. Bhakti is a psychological, a meditative form with a loving, a continuous concentration, along with a love, along with not only love, it is not only love, it is something, what you say that, there is a transformative love, there is a becoming love. See, love generally in worldly sense we take that you love a person is there and you are here and you love the person or you love an object. But here the love is only a transformative love. The love makes you totally in another person. Means in your personality structure totally modifies. That kind of love. Love is two types. One is from a distance. Every love, every feeling, every emotion makes about a little change. It's only the difference is it's a major transformation. To the core, the overhauling transformation, when you say, that is even Nishkama Bhakti. A simple love, worldly love is only a partly you change. A small part of it, a few qualities change, but you remain an individual. In worldly love, you love a person. In that thing, a few qualities may change. In your relationship, way of relating, way of talking, a certain feeling, certain samskaras change. But in this love, it is a total Nishkama love, total surrender type of love. Okay? In Nishkama love, in total surrender type of love, there is a total transformation in the personality. Okay, so that is the difference between worldly love and then Ishvara's love for Ishvara. So here you get detached from the body and through that dependency on the external world. But the external world doesn't disappear because it exists. It is there, external world. Body is real, external world is real. They are not all, the world and the body and everything is not like a dream as in Advaitins. Okay? It's not simply thought. It is really there. For them. For them means, why divide them? Even when you do Upasana, even among the Advaitins, it is same. So just distinguish, we only say, but even among the Smartas, Advaitins, when you do Upasana, the same thing applies. Same thing applies. As long as you do Saguna Brahma Upasana and go to Brahmaloka or Vaikuntha, it applies to, because it is at that level, both of them are common. They and we are common. Only one additional Advaita is there for Advaitins, and then whatever they say that Upasana level, that is common to both. Only when additionally you talk of, only that with additional alone we are comparing and contrasting. When we compare and contrast, this is one misunderstanding. They say Advaitins say this and then others say this thing. Others means they took as outsiders. No, they are not outsiders. They are also part of us. They are just a part of us. Because that aspect, that Saguna Brahma aspect is also accepted in Advaita tradition. That is also accepted. In fact, we can only say, instead of they and we can only say Saguna Brahma and then the Nirguna. So this comparison is between us only. Two aspects of us only, two levels of us only. So why bring them separately? They can be included in us only. So therefore Saguna and the Nirguna. This, I think this way is better. When we talk of Saguna, there is a real transformation because the world is real, your relationship with the world is real, and your attachment with the body is real. And the attachment with the body has to be really transformed. When you really transform your attachment with the body, identification with the body, it won't go as long as your body is alive and you are alive. That means your identification with the body won't go away. Only you become a less attached. That's all. But body remains. Only after the death of the body alone the real goes. Because when you say real attachment is real, but whereas Advaitins say Identification with the body is only in your notional. Right now, in spite of the body existing, you can be detached and you can be independent of the body. Jivatopi vidusho ashariratvam. Oh, I don't know, I have to see how they explain this mantra. In Brihadaranyaka, there is one mantra. Jivatopi vidusho ashariratvam. Priya priyena sprushataha. Even as he alive, once you de-identify with your body, because identification with the body is purely notional. Once you de-identify, right now here you discover that you are a pure consciousness. You are the Atma, independent of the body. Right now you become bodiless. Ashariratvam, unembodiedness. Right now you become unembodiedness. Body doesn't exist for you. That's possible in Advaita. Probably they say Jivatopi Ashariratvam. I don't know how they explain. I have to see their commentaries. I left all my books in Doddaballapura and I am here in Holy Narsapura. So only few books I have here. Next time when I go in September, I hope to go to Bangalore. We'll get it. So and refer to their books, what they say. Jivatopi ashariratvam, there is one statement in Brihadaranyaka. Even when the body is alive, they say as long as body is alive, a certain detachment comes. Total de-identification is impossible because identification is a reality. So you can't totally get rid of your identification with the body. That means Janma Marana are real events. For Advaitins say Janma Marana refers to body and Atma remains totally unaffected, neither birth nor death. Atma has neither birth nor death. Only because of your false identification with the body, you think that you are subject to birth and death through the body. Okay? Through the body, you think you are subject to birth and death. That subject to birth and death is a purely imagination. You drop that identification, the idea of identification, you are right now free from birth and death. So therefore, freedom from the birth and death, that is samsara. Birth and death is samsara. Freedom from the birth and death can be discovered right now here. You can get rid of the fear of death. You are deathless right now. This is Advaita. You are immortal. You are deathless. Death is not death doesn't exist for you because you are never born, never die. You always exist. Your existence is eternity. Timeless existence. Your consciousness, pure Atma, pure consciousness is eternal existence, timeless existence. Whereas they say that you are born is true because your relationship with the body is true. Your identification with the body is true. So you have to get rid of the identification. You can only be little less identified with the body. But totally getting rid of the body is not possible until the body dies. Therefore, for them, samsara, you can get rid of the samsara only after the death of the body. Therefore, death of the body is inevitable. To get samsara rahityam, to get moksha, to go to Vaikuntha or Kailasa, you have to really get rid of the body. That means death is inevitable. So, Jivan Mukta, they don't have an idea. Only Advaitins have a Jivan Mukta. So, body is real, your identification with the body is real, you have to be really detached. So, in your mind, you can do somewhat. But samskaras and all that you can't totally get rid of. Only when the body dies, the mind gets really transformed. In the mind, the thought of the body goes away, physical body goes away. But there is a mental body remains. The mental body assumes your Vaikuntha body or Kailasa body. The mind assumes another divine body, they call it. Vaikuntha Yogya body, Kailasa Yogya body, Devi Loka. In Devi, all become woman only. Okay? If you are a Devi Bhakta, you go to Devi Loka, all of them become woman only. Your mind assumes a feminine body. But feminine body has got with all masculine power also. Okay? Though they call it feminine, but it has got both it is. It is a masculine, feminine together. It's not a worldly sense of feminine. Okay? Masculine, feminine, both together. You have got a feminine feelings as well as a masculine strength also. Very tremendous power that you can wage war with anybody. Anybody, even with Indra, and defeat any asura. Such a powerful, that's such a power. Okay, all those Pauranika issues, Upasana issues, when we discuss Upasanas, we can talk of them. Here only, we are only contrasting, for sake of contrast alone we are discussing. So when there is a real identification with the body, two things they have to say. You have to detach from the physical body, that is possible only of the death of the body. So you have to get lot of punya and samskara and all that. You have to unwind the samskara with the body, and you have to get rid of the body. That means really body has to die. You can only prepare for it, but you cannot get rid of the body completely. You can only prepare for it and learn lot of detachment, but still body continues. Body can be only after the death of the body, the mind transforms into another, it assumes another divine body, Divya Devata Sharira. Devata Sharira, Swarga Loka Sharira, a Sharira suitable to Swarga, Sharira suitable to Vaikunta, Sharira suitable to Kailasa, whatever Loka you want to go, you assume a special body suitable to that world. That is a purely psychological body, it's not a physical body. Okay, but all our experiences and powers remain. Okay, note it. All experiences, qualities, powers remain. Only it is not physical, that's all. All experiences, powers remain. You have got all qualities, all powers, you are extraordinary. Qualities and powers, Divya Shakti, Ashtasiddhi, everything you have. So, the purpose of explaining all this is only this much. There is a real detachment from the body, really you have to get rid of the body, that's why you have to wait for the death of the body. And then you have to be really transform the inner mind to assume another body, and then it reaches another loka. Then you have to travel. First you have to get rid of the body, then you have to travel, that is Uttarayana Marga. Uttarayana Marga is there, Uttarayana Dakshinayana Marga. You have to travel that Marga. There are number of lokas on the way. On the way there are intervening towns and cities. Why towns and cities? There are districts and states. Districts and districts you have to cross. All the various districts, all the various states are Rajyagalu, or like lokas. You have to cross many lokas on the way and reach your highest loka, Kailasa, Vaikunta, or that. Because it is really located in a particular experience. So Vaikunta is a particular experience. It is not ever existing, all pervasive. It is not already you. Advaitins say the Mukta Swarupa is already you. You are only a misunderstanding. Correct it, you already discovered that you are already. They say you have to transform, travel and reach. Tithing. Detach from the physical body. You have to transform the inner mind, travel and reach. Okay, these three are four. That means a real transformation is required. That's why that real transformation, you require a real sadhana called Upasana. Upasana, what is Upasana? Meditating. A continuous meditating upon certain qualities, certain nature, where the mind really transforms into another. There is a real transforming meditativeness. Mind has to continuously be transformed, then only listen. But in Advaitins, there is no transformation. Mind itself is a false entity, it is a wrong notion. And you gets corrected, the consciousness remains ever existing. Okay? This is the difference. Now, if the samsara is real, you have to really transform it, change it and reach it and all that. When if samsara is a simply adhyasa, a bhranti, you only correct the standpoint. A wrong bhranti means what? You look at it from a wrong angle of looking and correct it, come to the right standpoint. There is no samsara. The world and everything is only, doesn't exist for your anubhava. It doesn't exist apart from your nature, which is an absolute consciousness, all pervasive, all inclusive. In that pure consciousness, there is no world other than you. Okay. And Purvapakshi says that ahamidam mamedam. To understand this one sentence, I gave you this explanation. Now Purvapakshi says samsaranarthasya nadhyasikatvam. That samsara that we are experiencing is not adhyasika. It's not simply misunderstanding. It's not simply a bhrama. It is really there. You have to really get rid of the body. You have to wait until the body passes away. If you kill, because the body has come due to some karma, you can't forcibly kill your body. If you forcibly kill the body, the karma on account of which you got this body is not exhausted. You will get another body. It won't leave you. Okay? You will have to find another body. Prarabdha will remain. It won't leave you. You have to get another body. Therefore, don't forcibly kill the body. Wait until the karma which brought this body for you gets exhausted. You have to wait until the body experience. When karma is exhausted, body falls off. Then the next body doesn't come because you have not worked for the next body. You have not acquired those karmas which you can acquire the next physical body. But you have done those meditation, japa, puja, dhyana, Ishvara seva, so that you have assumed a Vaikuntha Yogya body, a body suitable to Vaikuntha. You have not acquired the samskaras and karma. Two things are required. Samskaras and karma for the human body. You have not acquired the samskaras and karma for assuming the human body. In fact, you have unwinded all those karmas. Karmas and samskaras, you have removed them. You have weakened them and later you have dropped them totally. Therefore, you don't assume the Manushya Sharira and Pashu Sharira. Human body and animal body. That means you have transformed your mind to another state where you won't become fit for human body. You won't become fit for animal body. You become fit for the Vaikuntha Yogya body. So, body for Sharira. Body means Sharira. Body suitable to Vaikuntha or Kailasa or Devi Loka, etc. Therefore, the samskaras and karmas and meditation. Okay? Rituals, meditations and the bhakti. With these three, continuously you practice in such a way that the effect of it will not bring you the human body or animal body or lower levels, even Swarga body. You develop your samskaras in your mind in such a way that you won't get the animal body, Manushya body, Pitru body, Swarga body. 4 bodies you get rid of. That means you don't prepare for these 4 kinds of lokas. One is an animal loka, Manushya loka, Pitru loka and Swarga loka. All the 4 you don't prepare. In fact, you prepare against these 4. You prepare your mind for the Vaikuntha. You understand? Then what happens? You are preparing your mind purely with Nishkama. Total surrender to Ishvara. That is the cosmic mind. Cosmic mind is Ishvara. Saguna Brahma. You prepare yourself. It's not an ordinary thing. I tell you, you require a lifelong dedication. It's a great thing. It's not an easy thing to do. Don't dismiss it. It's not easy thing to do. It requires a lot of tapas, lot of great meditation, lot of bhakti, sincere, wholehearted bhakti. You have to transform your emotional feelings also. You can't afford to have raga, dvesha, hatred, ego and all that. The ego has to be purified and has to be humbled, and then the raga, dvesha have to be removed. The emotional transformation, samskaras have to change. Your identification has to change. And your purva karmas have to be, old karmas have to be exhausted, and new, more subtler karmas you have to develop. Subtler means more meditative karmas, more bhakti type of karmas you have to do. So therefore, bhakti type of samskara, more meditation samskaras are required. A subtle samskaras, very refined, subtle, sukshma samskaras as a result of your meditation. Okay? Then what happens? The mind, like the bricks are rearranged to form into another wall. Similarly, the inner constituent parts are restructured, reformulated, so that you assume a divine body fit for Vaikuntha or Kailasa. Now you understand the logic in it. I think even to understand this is much better. I think in all your Abrahamic religion, nothing is found, I tell you, so shallow childishness. You can see them how logical, how scientific our even if you take Vishishtadvaita, Advaita also, how logical, how beautiful it is. How beautiful it is. Because our Sagunopasana is a part of Advaita tradition anyway, because it is there in Upanishads, in Puranas. But even there, how much of beauty, how much of logic, how it is a scientific it is. So you are transforming yourself. But here he says, if samsara is real, Therefore, aham will remain. You only have to humble the aham and refine the aham. No totally getting rid of aham. Now Purvapakshi, coming to the Purvapakshi, last 2-3 sentences I'll say and conclude it. Okay? So therefore, you have to transform the mind. Humble the ego. Ragadveshas have to be changed. Ego remains, aham remains very humble, loving and tender aham, surrendering aham it is. It is a part of Ishvara, loving, it loves Ishvara, surrender to Ishvara, serves Ishvara. It remains under his hand, just like a soft gold. Very pure gold is very soft in the hands of God, in the hands of Vishnu. He bends you as he likes it. Very soft because it's a pure gold. No mixing of copper. Okay? You become a pure gold. Therefore, you can bend easily to the, you can bend according to the mold. Whichever mold you are poured, you assume the shape of it. So you assume another shape which is suited to God, Ishvara, and you surrender to him. Therefore, he says there is a real transformation is required. Ego needs to be humbled, but ego, you can't get rid of the ego totally. Okay. No aham totally goes away. It becomes a humble, refined, soft, gentle and surrendered. And loving. Therefore, samsara is real. It has to be transformed. Tasman nastik. Therefore, no. Upasana you do it. Bhakti you do it. Meditation you do it. Transform it. After the death of the body, you go to some loka. That is Brahmaloka. Same Brahmaloka is called as a Vaikuntha Loka or Kailasa or Devi, whatever. It is a Brahmaloka. This is the only thing. Now, you are talking of only Jnanam. Only Jnanam, Adhyasa. There is, but you are telling there is Adhyasa, only Jnanam is enough. Jnanam corrects your misunderstanding. You are already Brahman. Such a thing doesn't exist. I won't accept it. Purvapakshi says. Siddhanti says, no. Adhyasa is there. Now, with this, Purvapakshi concluded. You see, I am too repetitive. I am sorry. This is my nature. I try to control, but I couldn't do that. Now, the Purvapakshi, after so many days, I thought of completing in one day, but it took 4 classes. See, 4 or 5 classes. Now, Siddhanti begins. That will in the next class. Number 18, we have to begin next class. Asmano atmat pratyaya vishayatvat adhyasa arhata. Adhyasa is possible. Adhyasa is there in your anubhava. How? Natavade kantena avishayaha. This reply we'll see in the next class. Okay. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om Tat Sat.